Okay, welcome back, listeners, to the Inebri-art podcast. I'm just here today to mention our sponsor for September. And this sponsor I'm really excited about because I actually got this for my daughter for her birthday, and she loves it. And the sponsor is Sock Panda. It is a monthly subscription sock service. So for, I believe I pay about $12 a month, and every month she gets a pair of cool custom socks in the mail. And they have a bunch of different services. You can get, just a one sock type thing, or you can get it monthly, or you can get 2 pairs monthly. And they have all different designs. They have men's socks, women's socks, kids' socks. And so they've sponsored us this month. They've given us a box full of socks to give away at, we're going to give some away at Life Drawing. We're going to give some away at Craft Beer and Coloring. And we are going to give some away at our new game night. And all these events take place at the New World Tavern on Main Street in Plymouth. You can check out dates on Facebook or Inebri-art.com. And you can check out Sock Panda at sockpanda.com. Give it for a gift. Give it for yourself. Who doesn't love getting a pair of socks in the mail once a month? And thank you for listening.
And I was like this.
Yeah.
And I had fallen asleep, and I had this dream that this massive bee was in my face, and I actually came up and wailed myself right in the mouth, dude. My lip, I woke up like instantly. I was bleeding profusely. I was like, I'm like trying to. And my lip was swollen. I had to get 2 stitches.
Oh, Jesus.
And
then they're like, what happened?
Yeah, they're like, what happened? I told them, and they were like,
bring in the shrink.
I came into work the next day, and they had pasted, like, bees all over. I was like, you fucking bastards. They never let me live that down. I was like, that's what you get for being honest.
This outside rep came in, like, the Tuesday after I broke my ankle. And, I'm like, Saturday's spent in the emergency room. He's like, me too. And we're like, what happened? And he shows his hand. He's got like stitches and like a bandage across it. He's like, we're cooking on the grill. I'm like, me too. He's like, my wife was prepping something with a chef's knife, and I had something, and I turned around at the same time she turned around. He's like, she sliced me across the hand.
Oh my God.
He's like, so then you're in the emergency room, and they're like, how did this happen? Oh, my wife sliced me across. He's like, fucking everybody and their brother. Are you afraid to go home?
Yeah,
are your kids okay?
Nervous? Yeah.
Can we speak to your kids? Was she drinking? And he's like, you just want to be like, how she gets when she drinks. Yeah. He's like, but they don't think it's funny.
Yeah. I like that.
He's like, at no point you can be like, oh, I was totally kidding.
Yeah. You can't do that. That's a no-no.
So, somewhere. Did you get the B story, at least? Because the B story is funny. All right.
Nice.
Awesome. So, Inebri-arts, if you notice that very quiet voice that you maybe recognize, I don't really pick up the first time.
Round 2.
Yeah. We are back with Dan Kern, one of our original guests, I think episode 4.
4? Really? What are you guys up to now? Like 50-something?
50 just went up.
Oh, shit.
And so this is going to be like 54, 56, something like that. Right. So what have you been up to? It's been like a year plus.
Yeah.
Well, you got a new studio. Well, not a new... Is it? You took over your studio.
Yeah, I shared the space with a husband and wife, and they were not there a lot.
Yeah.
So I kind of had the place to myself, but there was a lot of just
shit in the way.
Yeah, there was a lot of stuff. Yeah, there was a lot of stuff. And they were like, excuse me. I had got Mike was in there for like a day.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's cool, man. Like they're not, whatever. And literally the next day they were like, "Hi, we don't want to have this studio anymore." I was like, "Oh," like I panicked for like a second.
Yeah.
But then I was like, "It's fine. I'll just do it." And I totally like douched the whole place.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like a different place.
Yeah, it looks amazing now, and I love it in there. And it's like, so I have like this little chair and like Astro.
Yeah, there's like a little nice little sitting area. Yeah. And it's like 2 rooms, which I've been in it before. I don't remember it being 2 rooms.
Yeah, we actually just got, so it's me, Mike, and we just got this other, I think their husband and wife, photographers, Ben and Liz.
Yeah.
And they're super nice people. Oh, is it a little too?
Are you too loud? That can't be. That can't be.
We're missing the mic.
Oh, I was over it. It's going over it.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a couple of photographers in there. So it's full house.
Nice.
4 people. So I'm pretty jazzed about it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And from the sounds of it, when we were down there, you're there pretty much like a job. I don't want to say like a job.
Yeah.
But
well,
like,
so,
like job hours.
Yeah,
like you're there pretty much all the time.
Yeah, I am very fortunate where my quote unquote day job.
Yeah.
I'm able to work remotely, really anywhere where I can get internet.
Yeah.
And I found I was able to connect to my Xfinity Wi-Fi from there and get pretty decent signal. So
nice.
I have just like my laptop there, and whatever I need is just like on my table. So I go there. I go there at like 7 a.m, and if I have work to do, I'll do it there and just But if I don't, I'm kind of like on call.
Right.
But so I can just make art all day. From like 7 to 4 or 5. I'm there from 7 till 4 or 5 in the afternoon, and
nice.
I'm there, but I'm there every day.
Yeah,
and just cranking.
So, have you seen? I think since the last time we talked to you had your book come out.
Yes, yeah, that's been about a year now, I think.
Yeah, and you hung out in Chicago.
I did hang out. Yeah.
And are you getting more customers, commission work, like?
Yeah, I started doing this year was pretty con heavy for me, which the couple that I did with you, which were good, and I just actually did Necronomicon in Providence.
Oh, that's right, I'd seen that. I was thinking about going down to that.
It was pretty wild.
Yeah.
There was a lot of vendors.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people. Yeah.
Was there like a lot of customers?
Yeah, there was a lot of people, and a lot I think they had like something like 70 or 80 vendors. And
wow.
It was in a ballroom.
Yeah.
The Narragansett Ballroom in the Omni Theater. Omni Hotel.
Yeah.
Omni Theater. Is that Bob? That's
Omni
that's
Theater.
Museum of Science.
Yeah. That's
yeah,
what it is. Okay. Yeah. I was like, why did I just think of that? But so yeah, there was 2 floors, and I was on the first floor, and there was some people on the second floor. But that was pretty wild.
Yeah.
I did pretty well there.
Nice.
But I've been doing I've been doing as many of those as I can, and I've been selling a lot of books and a lot of prints, and
yeah.
So yeah, it's not bad.
And you got the Patreon thing.
Yeah, that is hard.
Yeah. Well, it becomes like a deadline.
Yeah, it was I found that so I was doing those short stories, and I think I got about 5 out. I was doing them monthly.
Yeah.
Where I was writing like 3,500, 5,000 word short stories and illustrating them. Mm-hmm. And I think I got like 4 or 5 out, and then I kind of got caught up in life a little bit.
Right, as it happens.
Yeah, and then it just snowballed a little bit, and now I'm like, fuck, I gotta.
And then you're like 6 months behind. You're like,
right,
what happened?
I'm like almost 3 months behind, but I actually just made a post like saying, hey, like it's unrealistic for me to, like. Plus, I'm about to go into school next week.
Okay.
So I'm like, it's totally unrealistic for me to like get these done monthly. Like all the other stuff, I have no problem doing.
It's
like
just that one thing.
It's just that one thing, and I don't want to like churn shit out just to get it out.
Right.
I don't want to put out rubbish, just for the sake of being on time. So I was like, I'm just gonna put these out when I finish them. So they're still gonna come out. I still have like plans to put them out. I just can't do them monthly.
Yeah.
because it's hard. But yeah, I go back to school next week, so my like outside productivity is gonna kind of slow down a little bit.
How much, like, are you working towards a degree? Like,
oh yeah. I'm working towards a BFA in fine arts, but I'm doing it part time, so it's like almost 8 years instead of 4.
Right? Yeah.
So I'm on the 4th year, so I'm almost halfway.
Nice.
Like I think after this semester I'll be halfway.
Nice. What class are you taking this year?
I have figure painting and oils, and I think at like some kind of art history class. I try to take I used to take 2 drawing classes. That was a lot of drawing.
Yeah.
So now I kind of try to take like an academic one and a
studio type one.
Yeah. Kind of keeps the.
Because I saw you started to work in oils probably like around Christmas or so. Like
the last semester, which was before summer break, I did was oil still life.
Yeah.
So there's I think I did 18 or 19 still life paintings. I was doing one and a half a week.
Right.
And it's a 15-week class.
So was that your first venture into to oils?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was a little nerve-wracking, but it was cool. I like oils a lot. I just never it's like a commitment to there's a lot of stuff and it's a lot of mess. I like to just grab my pens and go. So to get set up, I'm already exhausted.
Right. It's like a lot of work, and then there's you got fumes.
Yeah. Right, and I gotta so it's a lot of work to but I do enjoy it though. I want to start doing actual real painting at some point.
Your work, not school work. And then I was on Facebook the other day, and I believe I shouted out, "Fuck him," because now you're sculpting.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, God damn it, do one thing that you're not doing.
So my I was down. So I've always wanted to do something like that. I do I wanted to make the things that I paint into just maybe some of the creatures.
Yeah.
And do just some small busts or what whatever. It's something extra that I could do.
Oh, don't drum on the table.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right.
Is there no drumming policy?
Yeah, and it's funny. People are like, "Oh, I won't drum," and then
I do. No, dude, I can't.
This picks it up.
Oh yeah.
We got this mic specifically to pick up your voice, so it picks up drumming like crazy.
Yeah. All right, hold on. I'll sit on my hands. So I was a drummer, so it's to not tap. It's what the hell?
Usually, I tell people. I just forgot to tell you.
I met this guy Gage Prentice, who is I think I'm saying his last name right. If I don't, he'll probably punch me in the face. But he's an amazing 3D artist.
Yeah.
And he does a lot of Lovecraftian style work. He's actually.
Did you meet him at the Lovecraft convention?
No, I met him at this kind of vintage market they had in the arcade down in Providence.
Okay.
And my friend Robin runs that, and she invited me to be there, and I met those people, and I met him, and he bought some of my work, and then I kind of was like, hey, if I come hang out in your place, will you show me how to do some stuff? And he was like, yeah, of course.
Did you show up with
nice
Play-Doh?
guy. Yeah.
They're like, I can make a worm.
Yeah, but he works in wax.
Oh, really?
Which is super cool to use. It's so tough on your fingers, though. I was in pain with an hour. Yeah. But it's probably just because it hardens after. If you don't keep it warm, at a certain temperature, it stays pliable. But if it starts to cool down, it gets hard, and you're like, ugh. But it was cool to use that. And he also recommended Sculpey, which you can get in
Michael's anywhere.
Yeah. So that's what I made those other ones in. So he kind of just showed me how to make armatures and whatever, and showed me the ropes a little bit. And then I just started doing stuff the other day because I found I just needed to breathe for a minute from painting. But I like it. And I was like, oh, it's not bad. I thought I was gonna hate I thought the first thing I was gonna do, I was gonna be like, just like smash it, and be like, I hate this. But it's fun. It's I feel like I have a better handle on it than I do actually like drawing.
Really?
Because I can move it around. Like you can just move it around so quickly. And
I suppose like if it's clay, like you can just move it back.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like you can erase and add and do it and like move it around, and it help. Like armatures help so good. Like just making a wire frame. Of what you're gonna do, even if it doesn't even look like I took for that little hand. I just like made like a little. It looked like shit when it's all just jumbled wire, but then you just add stuff to it, and it looks like a fucking hand.
So, and then it gives a little bit of like.
Yeah, and then I just looked at my own hand, and I was like, "Oh, there's like a bump here and there." And
well, I mean, you've studied anatomy for drawing, so I'm sure you had some.
Yeah, I had an idea of what's there. Yeah, but it's just like looking at whatever you're doing, and adding and subtracting. It's a lot of fun.
Nice.
So I'm hopefully going to be able to do more with that in the future.
One of my favorite pieces I did when I was at Montserrat was a plaster sculpture.
Yeah.
And like so you like cast you make a block of plaster and then you remove shit.
Yeah.
And I was running up into my apartment one night and I had like a bag of groceries and I had my sculpture in another bag and my foot caught the edge
of your feet.
I know, right? My foot caught the edge of the stair. And I fell forward, and the sculpture came up and hit me in the face, and then hit the concrete stair and split in half. And I brought it into the teacher, and I'm like, is there a way to fix this? And she's like no. I'm like, fuck.
That's awful.
Like, you saw it, though. I get the grade, right?
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, I was so pissed.
Yeah. I've actually, what I want to do is... kind of I bought some of these canvases and they're kind of like long, or like they're not wide but they're tall, and what I was gonna do is kind of make like make like a really crude weird figure, bake it, probably not bake it because then it would be hard, but like kind of try to attach it to the canvas and then use kind of like a paper mache-ish material and just kind of like, I don't know. I was messing around with it the other day. Then I forgot how bad paper mache stinks. Because it's flour and water,
right?
So it's like food.
Yeah,
you're like,
and then it just gets everywhere.
Yeah, and then it's the messiest shit ever.
Could you oil paint on top of that?
Oh yeah, and you can paint on top of these. Yeah, so it's like I could paint. Actually, that's what side note. I saw these really weird. Like, I'm not into Halloween decorations, but I saw these like hands, like it's like these ladies' hands that are like this, and they're from the forearm up, and you stick them in the ground.
Okay, so there's an arm coming out, right?
But there's nothing on. I was like, I'm gonna paint some blood on our fingers, and like,
it was just a hand? It was
just like a hand. Yeah, I mean, it was like gray. It's like rock, like a statue kind of color.
Okay.
But there's nothing, so I was gonna paint some. I was like, shit, I'll get some acrylic.
I'll just make my own hand.
Make my own shit. Yeah. But yeah, you can totally paint on top of that shit.
So what's the plan? What do you got going on? What is there another book coming out? That was a year ago. I feel like you're slacking.
Well, there is another book coming out, but it's not that.
Is it the one with the short stories? Or because that's still in process.
I'm working on. Like, I'm working on another Tesserae. I'm working on that. And this other one, which is probably going to be finished before all that other stuff. Because there's another person involved. Like, when it's just me, I'm like,
I'll go to it.
Yeah, I'll get to it. But so this, me and this gentleman from Rhode Island, his name's Alex Kimmel, and a super nice guy. He wrote kind of like a weird Dr. Seuss type story. Like it's like a poem.
Okay.
And it's 17 stanzas long.
Yeah.
And I'm doing a painting for each
stanza.
And it's gonna read like a dog. You see the picture and you read the lines. They're only 4 or 5 lines each. So. So
is it a children's book?
It's like a children's adult book. Like it's not. I think if a kid, if a child tried to read this, they'd be like, "What the hell? Like, I don't get it."
So it's written kind of.
It's written in a children's book format, but it's for adults.
But it's for adults.
Yeah. And it's really good. He's a super good writer, and it's what I've been, those paintings that I've been posting recently. Like, that's what those are from.
I'm gonna go back and look. The only thing I remember seeing recently was the sculpture.
They're like very cropped because I can't show the whole thing yet. If I have been on my Patreon, like my Patreon people see all those, because that's what it's for. Yeah,
right.
So, but I haven't. I'm like dying to share them though. Like it's some, like, I don't want to toot my own whistle, but it's some of the best paintings that I've done in a while.
So if someone wanted to check out your work or your Patreon. Where online can they go to check out your stuff?
If they just go to patreon.com/ I think it's just /Daniel Kern.
Kern.
Yeah. I was able to just get my name on that one.
Yeah.
So I have to put the art after it, but this time I didn't, so I was like, yeah.
Is there like another art page or website? Or?
Oh, yeah.
Because if you go to Patreon, can you see your work there even if you don't?
No.
Contribute? So they should just contribute.
Yeah. Well, that's the point.
Right. Yeah.
But there is, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, just at Daniel Kern Art, and DanielKernArt.com.
Yeah.
Everything else is there.
Okay.
I haven't updated that baby in a while, though.
Yeah, I feel like...
it's so easy. It's so easy.
Yeah, it is kind of, but everyone's like, "Oh, where can I go for information?" I'm like, "Go to Facebook for information on
because
they're like, "Do you have a website?" but I don't
like,
update as much as I should.
Yeah, that's the one that's dying in the corner. Like, my Instagram and my Facebook are totally updated, but
can you find your Facebook and Instagram from your website?
Yes.
Okay, so that helps.
Yeah,
so go to DanielKernArt.com.
Yeah, everything's there.
And go to the other links.
Yeah.
Like, don't look at shit there.
Yeah, everything else is there.
Yeah.
That's kind of, I'm halfway through. I just got to the halfway point. I'm on like painting 10 or 11.
Yeah.
I was like, my goal was to get them done before I was
back to school,
but that's probably not going to happen. But I'll pull it off.
Yeah.
I'll get it.
Is there like
I don't need sleep.
Is there a projected sleep's overrated? Is there like a projected like date? Like, it's going to be out in the spring? Or
we were shooting. We were kind of like hoping for the best. I think he had a book, some kind of book show in either October, I think. So we wanted to try to get it done by now. So if we get it to the printer or do whatever, like by the time it would be ready for that show. But I don't know if that's going to happen. Yeah. But I'm kind of just like going as they come and not trying to rush anything. I think we're definitely going to do a Kickstarter for it.
Nice. Because that worked out really well.
Yeah,
it was so weird. Like, the first one you did,
it fell apart.
It didn't really kind of... And then the second one just took off.
The first one... Well, because I think a lot of the people, by the time they saw the first one, it was almost over.
Oh,
people were like, I didn't even know this was happening. I was like, oh, Jesus. Because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing.
Yeah.
And my goal was way too high.
Yeah.
It was way too high. I think I cut it in half.
Yeah, because I remember you were like, I did the math again. I was like, I don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, well, because I was I way overcharged for shipping because I was afraid. Because you can get screwed if you don't charge enough for shipping.
Right, because then you got to still ship it out.
Yeah, you still have to ship it out and you're blown. But I was able
Which is weird because I don't feel like mine was shipped to me.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, I kept track. I had to like keep track of the people that were local.
Yeah.
And I was like going to give them back. Did I ever refund you, actually?
I don't care.
It's like $5.
I don't care.
$5, but that's what it was. It was like $5 to ship those books. But I think the one previous, I was. Like,
it is like more important to me that I get to complain about not getting the shipping back than actually getting it back.
Yeah. But that was just I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
So if, say, one of our listeners had a Kickstarter in mind, like, what would you suggest? Because you got to figure out your cost.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's number one. Like, figure out, like, do the numbers, like, and be as honest about them as possible.
And
a lot of people,
I feel like you always want to overestimate the
right.
You know.
Do like give yourself a rough estimate and then add like maybe 10%,
right?
And just for safeties. But don't like a lot of people are like, I want to make money on it, so they crank it up,
right?
Which you're not going to help anybody doing that. Like I mean, if you want to try, go ahead. Like, like knock yourself out. But I wasn't interested in that. I just wanted to get the thing printed.
Right.
I wanted to hold it, and like that was, and which was amazing.
And then I feel like you have the opportunity to be like you sold some original pieces,
right? Yeah.
That
like the reward, like that's like the next biggest thing. It's like getting
because I feel like that's why everyone kind of loves Kickstarter, is because you're like, hey, I kind of want this thing, but then like, ooh,
it's like,
if I spend $5 more, I get this other thing.
It's
too.
Basically a fancy pre-order sale, but you get shit back.
Right, yeah,
you get the thing, but also all this other shit, and something else if you want it.
From a marketing standpoint, it's a great way to upsell someone.
Oh, sure.
You're like, oh, you're going to buy my $15 book? Hey, for like $5 more, I'll draw on it.
Yeah, I'll draw.
For $10 more, I'll paint on it.
Right,
you know? And,
so it was a lot, which those painted editions were a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I still have 10 of those left.
Oh, really?
They're not anywhere. I haven't, I haven't put them anywhere, but they're still there. I have like 10 white covers.
Oh, I see that like no one paid for. They're just extra?
They're just there. They're extra. I might try to do something with those soon, but I mean, I still got some. I'm still trying to sell those. I think I have about 30 left out of the 100. But I also had soft covers made, which are just like $10. It's $10 for a soft cover. They're flying off.
Yeah.
So. And it has like a lot of people are like, I like this cover better. I'm like, yeah, because it's a real cover.
Yeah, it's got a picture on it. It's not just black.
It's not just black. Yeah. But I mean, I like the hardcover that's just black and has a just doodle inside of it.
Yeah.
But there was the first time went down in a fiery ball of shit, and the second one did a lot better because. Like a lot of people it was fairly quick. Like I kind of like dusted myself off fairly quickly and like got my shit together.
It was
and then
a pretty quick turnaround. So even the people who had pledged were still kind of
And the great thing about that is even like right now, it's if I like posted an update on that thing, you can still post updates. Everybody will get it. So like when you do a new one, you can just post an update, be like, hey, I'm doing this now, and everybody that supported your last one gets notified about that. So it's a really like nice marketing tool for that. But that's basically what I did.
It takes so much risk out of it. It's you just don't do stuff and be like, oh shit, nobody wants this.
It's still nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
And I was even like the minute it got funded, I started doing stuff. Like I wasn't waiting around for the month to go by. Like I was like, I need to start doing this now.
And so that's the other thing is I hear like a lot of people. I know some people will fund a Kickstarter and be like, "Oh, when I get it, it's a cool surprise." But, like, what was your turnaround from when it got funded to when you had everything out the door?
It wasn't that big. Like, I think I had about 40 or 50 backers, which was enough. So it was only like it took me probably 2 or 3 days of packaging, I had to do I think 18 sketches, which was
that's not too bad.
And they were 6x8.
Yeah.
So, but you know me, like sketch. It's like a
it was a nice sketch. I got one of those drawings. Yeah, I got one of those.
It was a full drawing that took like
it's okay.
So
I mean, I didn't get it shipped to me.
I don't believe
whatever.
It's like I
didn't get it shipped to me, but I did get it in a mailing envelope, I believe.
It came able to be shipped.
Yeah.
But like that's the thing. I don't know how to do sketches. I don't. I do actual draw. Like even for my Patreon, like I have it's a $10 tier. That's the biggest one I got, and it's like you get everything else, and then you get a drawing or
every month.
As a sketch. Oh yeah, every month. And
For $10.
For $10, yeah. Yeah, you can get a yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, so for our listeners, go to Patreon and spend $10. Even if you do like 2 months, you get two.
That's the thing.
Crazy.
You can throw down $10, get a drawing, and get access to anything you want for a month, and then
now do they get those in the mail, or do they get charged for shipping and you just hand it to them?
There's no shipping charge. I mail it right out.
Yeah. Nice.
But it's like I've been doing those, and they're not sketches. You're getting like a full drawing.
How many Patreon backers do you have?
12.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it's not bad. Yeah, I mean, I was happy to have one. You know, like that. But it's manageable. Yeah. So it's like I'm not. I think most of them. I only have like 4.
Not after people hear this, my friend. After our 7 listeners.
Boom. I think I have 4 people on the $10 tier, so I do 4 drawings.
4 drawings a month. Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Do you have any?
Overwhelm me.
Yeah, make him cry.
Yeah, make me cry.
I remember when you had the Patreon. Someone who bought one of the top tier pieces. You were like, I don't know who this person is. Do you have any like Patreon people that?
Oh yeah. There's some people that have no idea who they are, or some of them I don't even know how they found me.
Yeah,
but because I know all their names,
right? Yeah,
and
their credit card numbers.
All their, I know all their your address, but some of them there's a few of them that I don't even know. I don't even know if they follow me on anything else. It's just
through Patreon.
Which I have no idea.
And that is the fascinating and bizarre thing.
It is
like because we can now see analytics of like how many downloads, where we're being downloaded, and like we have 5 downloads in. Well, I'm sure my listeners are tired of hearing this, but we have 5 downloads in Cambodia, and you're like I didn't know they had the internet in Cambodia. And I'm like, it's just like, it's not even a country I would think of.
But that's like on Facebook on your page, like you can see. Apparently, I have a ton of like my demographic. The most people is in Chicago.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you think it's from that show?
Maybe, I don't know, but everybody's from Chicago. It's a lot of people.
That's funny. That's so weird. Yeah.
But it's cool how they break that down. Like I can like I have more female like support than male support. it's like a percentage.
Ladies must love you, Dan.
Ladies, they're lining up out the door. I gotta swat them away.
So I can't remember. I know I've asked you this more than once. Yeah. Have you gone on your crazy cat trip to Montreal yet?
Oh yeah. We just we went a few weeks ago.
So you went to Montreal.
We didn't. Yep.
To go to a cat cafe.
Not one. We went to 2.
There's more than one.
There's more than one.
Okay,
cat cafe.
That's fucked up.
But the second one was way better. So.
There was more pussy at the second one.
They were a lot more friendly. So it's basically just it's a cafe, but they have like 9 or 10 cats and just crawling around, like they jump up on your table, and you're like, all right. And they just have, some of them are really strict. They're like, don't pick them up, don't touch them when they're sleeping, don't go near them with food, like they're. But the second one,
punch them.
Yeah, don't. Yeah,
like rules.
But there's like a big basket of toys up at the front, so you can get a toy, and you can, if one's running around, you can play with it.
So is this like a big thing in Montreal or Canada?
I think so. Yeah,
because the fact that you said there was 2, I'm just like,
and
how is
they're
that?
Really close together.
Really?
They're really close to each other. Yeah.
Are they connected by like a tube that the cats can go back and forth?
Probably. Yeah.
To me, I'm like, that's so unsanitary.
Yeah, it's fine. Nobody's. I mean, they disinfect everything. Like the girls are running around with wet wipes, doing it's not worry. Yeah.
Oh man.
I just want to know where the litter box is. That's
Like
they go. There was a hole in the wall where they all kind of went into, and I was like, I bet there's like a massive room, and it's just it's just litter on the floor, and some guy goes in there and just like
that
has room like a
has
shovel.
To be horrible.
He has like a man-size
Like-
poop scoop, just like a shovel with holes in it. He's just fucking
It's just
Because I have 2 cats,
Yeah.
and they shit like people.
Yeah.
like it's awful, but I can't imagine like 10 going.
Yeah.
It's like,
My mother had this apartment before she passed away in Kingston, and she had 2 cats. And so we had to clean out the apartment, and like one of them apparently had been shitting in the closet, and
That's
it's just
awesome.
you're just
prehistoric nuggets.
you just want to be like, just keep whatever money she gave you because I don't want to do that. This is horrible.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
but it was a lot of fun. I mean, we did that. We went to a Harry Potter themed bar.
See, that seems cool.
Which was cool.
Nerdy.
It's called
Cool.
Lockhart.
Okay.
And I got a.
And you go and you drink and you don't remember anything.
Yeah, well, I was actually surprisingly sober when I left there for some reason. But I had 3 drinks.
I've never seen you drink more than 1 beer.
Well, that's because I don't stick around.
Yeah, you're always like, well, gotta go work.
I got shit to do. I think the first drink I had was the Owl Post.
Okay.
And it was just like some vodka or whatever. And they're like the drinks are very heavily like knick-knacked. Like they like
there's like shit in it.
So my drink came with a little teeny like clothespin with a little letter on it that you can open, and it said "You've been accepted to the Lockhart."
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I have it at home. And then I got what the fuck?
Were there animals in this bar too?
Oh yeah. No, they weren't real.
All right.
It was a tea. It was some kind of tea, but it was this like lavender like vodka ginger tea or whatever.
Yeah.
And it came in a huge owl shaped like pot, and they give you a mug with ice in it, and you just
pour it
into the mug and you drink it.
Montreal,
and that thing was fucking
like
endless
to drink.
Yeah, that was endless.
Wait, endless like they refill it?
No. It just never stopped coming out. I was like,
right.
Jesus, I got like, I think I got filled the mug like 4 times.
Holy shit.
I was like, but there was one he was making, they have actual butter beer.
Yeah.
But it's toasted with, they put,
what the hell is butterbeer anyways? Like,
I think I don't remember reading the thing, but I think they actually had like it's like a caramel beer.
Okay.
And something like that. But they top the thing with whipped cream, and then he busts out the torch and toasts 2 marshmallows and sticks it. It's like, and it comes in a giant fucking mug.
Yeah.
And they're just like, they're very heavily decorated drinks.
Yeah.
It's like, but it was fun. But it spent a shit ton of money on records and like,
nice,
because we couldn't buy any fucking books. We were like, yeah, let's go to the bookstores. It's all in French.
Oh, right,
well,
yeah.
But
of
it
course.
didn't. But it was like, that didn't even occur to me.
I remember the first time me and a couple buddies drove up to Montreal. It never occurred to me, like, as soon as we hit Montreal, I'm like, I can't read any of these street signs.
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't know where we're going. This is like before GPS. And you're like, we're so fucked.
Yeah, it was like, it didn't even occur to me that we wouldn't be able to read any of the books there.
Yeah.
Because
and then you go to ask if they have ones in English, and they ignore you.
Yeah. Well, the thing, I was just, they're very like, nobody's really mad that you speak English, because there's like a shit ton of people coming from Vermont.
Yeah.
So they're so bilingual up there, it doesn't even faze them. Like, I was trying to be like when we were there, I was trying to be like respectful, and they'd be like bonjour, and I'm like, oh bonjour, and then they start rattling at me in French. I'm like, no,
oh bonjours.
I was like, yeah, boop bacoop. Like they, it would just. I'd be like, no, that's it. I was just trying to be, and they were like, oh no, whatever. And like that, literally.
But that's the thing, is you always hear like, oh, there's
well, I think in actual France they get mad if you don't
speak French,
speak a little bit of like at least greetings and whatnot. They're like, get the fuck out of here. But
when I was up there, it was St. Patty's Day, and it was like,
oh man,
this insane part. Like Montreal's blood alcohol level was off the charts as a city, and it was just like, it was a party all the way up and down the street. Oh, yeah. It was like
it's definitely they don't it's like there's not a lot of nothing happening. Like it there's always something going on.
Yeah. And you hear about, like, New York is like, oh, the city that never sleeps.
Yeah,
we
it's
had,
like,
like,
no,
pizza
yeah.
delivered to our hotel
Yeah.
at, like, 1 o'clock in the
Oh,
morning.
right, yeah. There's always, like, in the heavier parts, it's like nothing's not happening.
Right.
But, we walked like 40 minutes away from where we were staying. Just, like, doing all kinds of stuff, and we just, like, kept going. And then we hit the Museum of Fine Arts, which was awesome. I have to post pictures from that because I have a ton. But they have these bike stations. This was fucked up. They have these bike stations that you can just, like, pop off a bike. They have them in Boston too. They're like the Blue Cross ones.
Yeah.
Although I never used those. Like, this was the first time. But it's like $5.
Oh, yeah.
For the day.
Yeah.
But you can only ride it for half-hour intervals. Then you got to dock it again. But then you undock it, and then you can ride. So you have to hit a dock within a half hour, or they charge you $150.
Really?
Yeah. So if you don't
crazy.
if you're like, I'm like, you can't even enjoy the fucking bike ride. You're riding around.
Like, there's got to be one.
There's got to be one. So, yeah, you're like looking at your watch. It was wild. I'm like, we called the place. We're like, is this real? Like, how does this work? They're like, yeah, you can only ride it for like a half hour. Then you got to dock it. Then you undock it, and you can go again. It's like, what?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. So, and if you find one, and then it could be full.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
Oh,
like,
right, yeah.
So
They'd be like, quick, put $5 in it.
Yeah, it's like, it's wild.
Yeah.
So, but we knew there was one by where we were staying.
Yeah.
So we got one from up there, and we fucking hauled ass all the way back because we were going to walk another 40 minutes. Dude, riding a bike in Montreal, I was like, I wish I had a diaper on because there's a bike lane, but there's just fucking they're whizzing by you. There's other people on bikes like ding, 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 they're ringing their bells at you like you're not going fast.
I'm a tourist.
Yeah. I'm like, fuck, they're going like 40 miles an hour, but they just like all weave in and out.
Yeah.
And then the light system there, I think they have is way more efficient than the ones we have here.
Yeah.
There's almost no left arrows. It's just straight, and so you don't have to push the button and wait to fucking walk.
Yeah.
You're either going this way or you're going this way. So there's no and you just walk.
Yeah.
So it's like you don't have to wait for like lights, and it's pretty cool. But I was like, this is great. You don't have to push a button and wait for the fucking
And then
thing
no
to
traffic
yeah,
comes, and you're like, well, I guess I'll cross now. And then you're like, I'm the asshole.
The walking lights change with.
With the traffic,
so it just goes back and forth. So.
Those bikes remind me when I was in Denmark. They had similar bikes, which I'm sure this is more like the upgraded ones. It was like they had like a lock on them.
Yeah,
and Geico would sponsor a bike, so Geico would be all over this bike that you put like $1 into the bike lock, ride it to wherever you're going, click the bike lock, and take your $1 back.
Oh, that's like yeah.
And the tour guide is like, yeah, but you can't find one because the second Geico puts them out, someone puts $1, rides it around, brings it up to their apartment, and now they have a bike. So I'm sure that's probably part
awesome.
of that docking every half an hour.
Oh
but
my god, that was so wild. I was like, I just want to ride this thing around for the day and like.
What happens
not
after you?
about it.
Like, if you get $150, do you get to keep the bike?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know.
Because I think if they charge me $150, I'd be like,
I'm
mine now.
Yeah, keep it. Yeah, right. But I don't know. I didn't want to stick around and find out.
Nice.
But it was it was a good trip. It was a lot of fun.
Cool. Yeah. So you got your school coming up. You have your work.
Yeah.
Are you worried that between those two things that like the stuff you want to do is?
Yeah. I mean, it
like I don't. Let me phrase this better. How is it that you stay so motivated and regimented to get things done? I mean, part of it is I think people just have a natural motivation level. Some people aren't motivated, and some people are.
Well, most of it's love.
Most of it's love.
Yeah, I love to do it.
Right.
So it's like what I do when I'm. It's a hobby, you know.
It's like if you weren't doing it to get paid, you'd be doing it anyways.
Oh yeah. Which is why so the first time I ever started doing this, I had this is like back when I got involved with
Crack.
the snack people. Yeah, crack.
The snack people.
Yeah, Southern New England artist community.
Oh, right.
Great bunch of great people.
Yeah.
I
thought he was bringing us treats.
No, I did. It does make me hungry a little.
Yeah.
He was bringing us crack.
No, he said snack. I said crack.
Oh.
I was making
Apparently
a joke.
that's a snack. He's like, this is delicious.
That's how he gets motivated.
That's how, yeah. So when I I was doing. My friend Sean, who I went to high school with, worked at Stop and Shop with a million years ago.
Yeah.
When I just like started throwing shit up on Facebook because I didn't know what to do with it.
Right.
He was like, "Oh, dude, I didn't know you were into like doing this." He's like, it's pretty good. Do you want to? We have he told me about the group and whatever, and then he was like, we have an invitational where like the members have a guest artist.
Oh, nice.
And it's in a gallery show.
Yeah.
And I was like, what? Like, I didn't know what the fuck a gallery show was. I didn't know what a gallery was. I didn't
Now,
know.
how long ago was that?
This was like 5 years ago.
So looking back at that, like, how surreal. You went from 5 years ago to being like, I'm not sure what a gallery show is.
Yeah, exactly.
To, like,
I didn't
mailing a piece out to Chicago.
I thought galleries were like in New York, like in LA, like they were fancy. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know anybody like New Bedford. You can just have a gallery.
Was it Gallery X?
No, this particular one was in Foxborough.
Yeah.
I have been at Gallery X.
Yeah.
But
it's a cool place.
Yeah, it is really cool. But that's what I mean. Like gallery, they're a dime a dozen down there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I thought they were like prestigious things, like a museum. You know, like
right.
I just was ignorant about it. But I was like, sure, yeah, like
I'll do that.
Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I was like, I don't know what the fuck that is. So
did you have like a panic attack? Did you go to the opening?
Oh yeah, I went to the opening.
Did you have like a little panic
Oh yeah,
attack?
I panicked.
Because I had...
I freaked. I was drinking heavily. I was panicked because I actually made the... He's like you can you can frame anything you got, or you can create a piece for it. And I was like, I'm gonna have to do that because everything I've done is just like me fucking around. Right. So I actually made a piece which I went totally overboard. And this was. Do you remember this was the two 11x14 drawings that you can hang side by side together, and one of them it's from it's kind of like a homage to the movie Time Bandits.
I don't remember that, but I do. I remember talking to you about Time Bandits more than once.
It's the GOAT for anybody who knows Time Bandits. It's a.
If you haven't seen Time Bandits, shut this off. And go watch
it right now
because that's way better than this.
It's a very young Sean Connery.
Yep.
He's a Grecian, or I think he's Greek.
Yeah. He's Agamemnon, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah,
I love that movie.
It's when the goat. So when he's fighting the guy with the fucking huge goat head.
It's a bull's head. It's,
a bull's head. That's what it was.
Help me out. Minotaur.
Minotaur. Yeah, exactly. So they're both like this.
Yeah.
And nobody's gonna see this, but
Dan has his arm extended.
They have their weapons pointing at each other.
Yeah.
And both of the weapons
are kind of crossed.
Intercrossed in the other.
Do you still have that piece?
Oh yeah. It never went anywhere.
Dude, send me a picture of that. I want to see it. I don't remember seeing it.
It's somewhere around there. But it's two like 11x14 drawings. That you can hang them side by side together, and it's got like there's like a knotted like border around it. Like I drew knotted rope around the.
Yeah.
I went wild. Like I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was just having a ball. I had a blast doing it, and I had 2 months. I did it within 2 months, and got it framed at Michael's. It bent over because I didn't know what I was doing. They were like, "Oh yeah,
that's $175."
And I was like, "Grab my I just grabbed my ankles for that." And so, but yeah, and then I brought it there, and he was also like, he's like, "Do you have any like other?" He's like, "Get prints made," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you get reproductions of like the stuff that you make and sell it for like way cheaper. You know, most people
sell more, right?
Yeah, and most people will be into buying that instead of an original piece, which is a lot more expensive.
Right. Yeah.
So I got a couple of those done, and we had like a meeting for like kind of a pre-show meeting.
Yeah.
And I had brought, like, Sean told me to bring them with me, so I brought them with me, and I was just like showing them to some of the people, and one of the guys was like, "How much do you charge for those?" And I was like,
I was like 20
yeah,
bucks
well, no, I was like,
each.
I was like, but I was like, what do you mean, like, like money? Like, and he was like, yeah, and I was like, well, you can. I was like, you can just have one. Like, this is how. I was like, you can just have one. Yeah. I was like, it's no big deal. Like, because that's the love that I have for it. Like,
right.
It's why people get a full fucking drawing for
$10 on Patreon.
Yeah, because I just love doing it. I don't. I mean, I'm probably. Most people are probably like, you're hurting yourself,
right?
Because you're. The people that actually do pay a good amount of money for a drawing are now being like, what the fuck you're doing that, but it's like, well, you know what, like,
well, then pay $10 and
exactly.
get you a bunch of them.
But I mean, it's just I love doing it so much that I would just do it anyway, even if I never made money off of it.
I literally had a conversation today with someone, and I'm like, oh yeah, we're now up to like 4 different podcasts, and like I'm making commercials now, and we're hanging out at this place and maybe this place, and we're also doing this and got this going on, and they're like, do you sleep? And I'm like, well, yeah, I guess when I have time.
I got a few Z's in,
and they're like, oh god, I don't know how you do it. And I'm like, honestly, when I had my crappy retail job, I was way more tired.
Oh yeah,
because it was draining. Like this doesn't. This isn't work. It's hanging out with you.
Yeah, you're doing shit that you want, that you like to do.
And it's like, what is my other choice? Go home and watch Dancing with the Stars?
Right, yeah.
Wait, is that on tonight? Because, like,
no.
I don't know.
But it's like it's the best feeling in the world to sit in that chair and with a blank piece of, like, I got nothing. And
Did you ever get, like blank paper syndrome? Like,
oh, absolutely.
Where you're just staring at it, being like,
oh yeah. Sometimes I'm looking at the thing for like a half hour before I even do it. That's when it goes past like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
that's when I kind of just like grab a sheet of paper and I just do this, like to get my just start
doodles
making,
of anything.
Yeah, I'm like, and then something will usually come to me. I do. I mean, like, I work a lot from dreams.
Yeah,
and a lot of meditation. So sometimes I'll do that. I'll sit down and do like a middle pillar and try to conjure something that might. A lot of the times I'll Google image things.
Now, for our listeners,
I
mean, not for me, who don't know what a middle pillar is.
Oh,
what's a middle pillar?
So it's just.
I know.
Okay, yeah. So
I don't know.
So the middle pillar exercise, or it's a ritual actually.
Okay.
So
do you have to like sacrifice chicken?
No, a couple goats.
Okay,
and you should be all right.
All right.
I actually know a goat herder in case you need.
Is that the guy that does goat yoga?
I just steal them. But you sit, you basically sit or you lay down. There's no rules on how to do it. It's like whatever's comfortable.
Yeah.
And you breathe, and it's a breathing exercise, and kind of a way to kind of get yourself focused.
Yeah.
And so you
just kind of shut down all those thoughts.
I sit in the middle of the floor on my little AstroTurf.
Yeah.
And what I do for maybe like 2 or 3 minutes is just listen to my breathing.
Yeah.
And you just breathe in and out, and then you focus on, like, you try to think of like a large ball of light, or something like in this, and every time you breathe it gets a little bigger and a little closer, and you kind of just like every time you breathe in it comes to you, and then once you start at the bottom of your feet.
Yeah.
And then whenever you breathe in, you picture it filling up your feet. And then when you stop, that's it. And then when you breathe in again, it goes higher. Then you breathe in again, it goes higher. And it kind of, until you fill your entire body with this hypothetical light. And then mostly by that time it's been about 15 or 20 minutes, and you're super relaxed, and well, me anyway, it works for me, and I'm focused. And sometimes while that's happening though, I'll see things, and that's usually where then I kind of
see. I do something not dissimilar, because like a lot of times I'm so busy all the time, it's like I'll lay down at night to sleep, and it's like, oh, I gotta do this, and I gotta do that, and and I'll just like breathe, and I'll just focus and listening to my breathing, just to kind of stop myself from thinking. You know?
I do it most nights before I fall asleep. Although sometimes it's dangerous because I have wild fucking dreams.
Your dreams horrify me, and I don't experience them.
I just had a terrible one last night, actually. That it's rattled me this entire day.
Yeah.
So
So tell us about them, because then I can charge you for an hour of therapy.
So I have a bit of. I don't have it. Like, I just found this out within the last year or so. I didn't know this was a thing, but I have a small form of sleep paralysis.
Okay.
But it mostly occurs. I don't get the. Sometimes I get the. So basically, like, for nobody who knows, it's a thing that happens when you go to sleep, sort of, but you get in that like hypnagogic state where you're about to fall asleep.
Yeah.
And you kind of, your body is paralyzed.
Kind of like when you have that falling feeling and you haven't fallen asleep.
Yeah, myoclonic jerks. Yeah. You have, but
I don't want to hear about your
but so you are awake, but your body is not responsive. Like, you're paralyzed.
Yeah.
You can't breathe. Like, it happens within like a 30-second window, obviously, because you can't not breathe for more than. But
don't tell me what I can't do.
Hold your breath right now. Let's go. But you're very conscious, like, you're aware. You can sometimes, a lot of people hear machinery, or like loud noises, or Christy suffers from it too.
Yeah. I believe we talked about it last time.
She has it way
on episode
worse.
4 of the Inebri-art podcast, which you can get on Stitcher or iTunes.
Go deep for that one.
Yeah. I mean, you can't hear shit on it. But.
Yeah, you won't hear me, but so most of the time, though, it's while I'm sleeping, I get it, but then this is way more terrifying to me, is I get it in the form of a presence, and that's always behind me, that holds me. And I can never see what it is, but I feel like it's if somebody grabs your ribs.
I've been there.
Yeah. It's like somebody grabs you from behind and holds you for a second, and then I'm like, fuck, and I wake up, and usually I'm yelling, like, I'll yell because it's terrifying, but
my girlfriend yells in
I
sleep.
do too. I cry. Christy would wake me up and be like, or she'd try to, and it'd be like, you're yelling.
Yeah.
Or she'd tell me the next day. But last night I finally got a little bit of a glimpse of what.
Oh, really? Like, you saw?
So, yeah. So, what happened was I had this dream that I was sleeping in. I was in my bed, but not in my house. It was in my old house in Kingston, where my mom used to live.
Okay.
And I was like, for some reason, there was noise happening that I was causing, but I didn't realize that it was like in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit, I should stop that because like everybody's asleep. So I stopped, and I had this feeling that my mom was going to be like, what the fuck was that noise? And would get up and come to see what I was doing.
Yeah.
So I pretended to like be asleep, and I waited there for a minute, and well, just like I knew, the door opened, and I could see like from where the door was usually behind me from where I was, where the room was, where my bed was situated.
Yeah.
So when the door opened on the wall, I could see the light from the hallway on the wall, and there was a shadow on the wall, and it had like, I could see these dangly, like there was just, I don't know if it was hair or whatever, but it was all these weird dangly looking shapes.
Huh.
And then I waited a minute, and then it went away, and then I felt a weight on the bed, and I'm like, wait a minute, that's not she would never do that. And then I realized, like, before I could realize what it actually was, I was like, ah! and then I felt it wrap around me. I was like, fuck! And I woke up and I like literally, I was sweating, dude. Oh, it was
God.
so, but I finally got a fucking glimpse of what it was like, and I immediately, as soon as I woke up, I like frantically sketched like shit, whatever the shapes I saw. So it's fucking. I might see it one of these days. And I don't know what.
It's fucking horrifying. And, I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Yeah. But most of the time, I have these like. There's a place that is not. It's like a woods.
Yeah.
Like I'm always in the woods. I love the woods, but I'm in the woods. There's so many fucking trees. It's insane. Like it almost seems not navigable because there's so. But you know, and there's these like the paintings that I do. Those creatures are real to me. I see them.
Right.
Not really that accurate because it's, you know, there's all kinds of misinterpretation, and it's, you know, I can't really pay that close attention, so I'm doing a little bit of guesswork. But but to stand, like, I've stood next to some of them and they're huge, and they're a lot bigger than the paintings are, and most of the time I don't get them. You know, sometimes I apologize internally because I'm not doing them justice. Like
Right.
But all of those are things that I've seen, and you know, usually when I sleep or when I meditate, which it used to be very, very like this has been happening my entire life, but it was frightening for me, and I wouldn't sleep, and I would,
which is understandable. Some of your stuff is like, oh, that's kind of beautiful, and others you're like, oh, that's pretty creepy, and
but so I've transitioned to a point where I'm kind of understanding where they're coming from, and they're not so scary anymore, especially when I put them down on, like...
Do you think putting them down on paper, like, makes them...
Oh, yeah, it
more understandable?
Yeah, it puts them in a place that's not my wild imagination.
Yeah.
So it kind of like puts a rope on it a little bit, because I can just look at it and be like, oh, that's it. Like, I'm not back in the with the binoculars, you know. But most of the time when I was a kid, I like wouldn't go to sleep, or I wouldn't. I'd be so fucking tired. My mom would be trying to get me up for school.
Yeah,
I'd be like, no.
Yeah,
and but it was awful. It was scary, and I didn't know. Like, I still like this is kind of what I'm working on now, is figuring out why and where who they are. Like, I don't know what they're doing. Most of them don't speak, so I can't be like, hey, what's going on?
Yeah.
I don't know why it's happening.
Right, yeah. I mean, that's not...
So that's basically what I'm trying... Like
my dreams are like, oh, I was in the grocery store in my boxers buying a loaf of chocolate bread, and like, who buys chocolate bread? That's weird.
Yeah, and then you see someone you haven't seen in 20 years.
Right.
Or,
and then you're at home.
Yeah,
like,
so it's and most of I get those too. Like, it's a mingle of like, I have really really awful ones where my insecurities are coming out. Like I have that anxiety where I think everybody's mad at me, and like you know what I mean? Like, really terrible. Like, I don't want to inconvenience anyone, or like, you know what I mean? I feel bad if somebody has to go out of their way, and most of that'll come out like in my, like, people will be like, I'll run into people in the mall and they'll be like, I hate you. You're the worst person. And it's myself. Right. The way I treat myself.
Right, yeah.
But to like experience it like with a person.
Because in dreams they seem so real.
It's so real. And I'm like, oh my God. And I feel, you know, it affects my day for, when I get up. I'm like, oh dude, that was awful. And then I'm depressed, you know, for the rest of the day, and it's terrible. But I deal with it. And all the painting it helps me kind of cope a little bit.
Oh yeah, I would think so.
Part of the love of doing it.
Yeah,
I'm glad I do, because if I didn't, I'd be a sad sack of.
You'd be in a straitjacket, probably. I mean that with the most love possible.
No, I hear.
So, what do we charge per hour for psychotherapy?
How are we working this out?
We're going to research that, and we'll charge your HMO.
Yeah.
So I think that pretty much wraps it up for it went by pretty quick. And
we'll end on that note.
Yeah, and I apologize for any of our listeners who are listening to this late in bed.
You're not
Sweet
alone.
dreams.
Yeah,
No, and obviously we'll have you back at some point.
Oh, yeah.
And this was fun and creepy as shit.
Yeah.
But that's why we
me.
love
Yeah,
you, Dan.
totally.
And so one more time, people can go to Patreon and
/ Daniel Kern.
Daniel Kern, and $10, an original piece of Daniel Kern art every month.
Yeah, every month.
That's
right on your doorstep.
Crazy cheap.
Yeah.
And he'll charge me shipping and hand deliver it to me.
Yeah, that's
Prick.
right.
And if you're in Montreal, go check out some sort of cat
Look at
cafe.
those cat cafes.
Because that can't be sanitary.
Yep.
But thanks again, man. It was always a pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And hopefully we'll see you at the Life Drawing coming up in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Because we have to plug our Life Drawing at New World Tavern first Monday of every month.
Yep.
Unless it's a holiday, then it's the second Monday, which will happen.
I still have gift certificates.
Do you? Well, you got to get in there and use those.
You're burning money right now.
We have a great sponsor this month.
Oh, really?
So, is this going up in September? I don't know how many we have in the can. 2. So this will go up.
We're out of August, Andy. That's going to go up in September.
I don't know.
I have
Okay,
none
so
in the can right now.
so our sponsor this month is Sock Panda, and they sent us a box of socks to give away.
Box of socks.
Box of socks, not just because it rhymes, but
Mostly.
yeah. So we're gonna have some socks to give away.
Nice.
Yeah, and thanks again. And
thank you.
DanielKernArt.com.
Yep. That's it.
All right, cool.
That'll get you there.
Yep.
Andy, you want to do our stuff at the end?
Oh yeah, we should probably if you want to, we're on the Twitter at Inebri-art.
The Twitters.
We're on the my Facebook at Inebri-art. You can email us inebriart@yahoo.com. Please subscribe and rate us on iTunes because that'd be a huge help. We're also on Stitcher.
I said you were terrible.
I'm pretty horrible at this. I mean, I'm only 56 episodes, and you'd think I'd have some clue what the hell I'm doing. The best part is, and I realized this 20 minutes in, never even said my name.
Oh yeah. No one knows who this is.
Yeah. So
what's your name, sir?
So this has been Andy, and I apologize for your listening.